on the other side, mowing the lawn. My epitaph in any case, everything was beautiful, nothing hurt. I will have gotten off so light, whatever the heck it was that was going on. From the preface to God Bless You, Dr. Kevorkian. I know deep down that whatever's in the stars doesn't care about us. All our stuff about gods in heaven was invented to help us forget that. The best of us are born to take it farther, can make whole worlds fit into a little toe, spin paradise from firestorms, mythologize their way into stability. For them, fantastic is a gate back to living in the ordinary. And if we're lucky, we get to go through after them. I'm trying to do that myself, be a world builder, a myth talker, a fantasy gate keeper. I don't much like my chances. Dear Mr. Vonnegut, I read your book. Couldn't put it down, in fact. But I do have some questions. I'd like to talk to you about it. I want to hear more about you and the good and notorious Dr. K. You in the death chamber. You in the improbable tunnel woven from the cloth of dreams. You and the stories of back and forth speaking with the dead, famous, infamous, unknown. You and the bad doctor retrieving small details that otherwise would have been lost in transit. I'm impressed by all the matters of fact you built large through that fantasy. All the time you spent in a conjured world where stories mattered less than stasis, and everything holds still, where you don't get to choose whether you leave or belong. In the foreword, Neil Gaiman says that now that you're over there, you were constantly mowing the lawn of the vacant lot before the pearly gates. Thinking of lemonade, mopping your head, happy, finally, stuck in time. If that's true, kudos. If that's true, blessings. If that's true, I'm jealous. You found no reason ever to speak anything but plainly of the sublime, while seeing plainly the sublime in the plain. Interviewing those who'd gone ahead for their views on where they'd ended up. Speaking of the scientist who researched babies and mothering, who has now learned that babies who die in infancy grow up to be angels. She's exclaiming, that's where angels come from with their storky wings. Or of the man dead of a heart attack while defending his schnauzer from a pit bull. And when you asked him if his death was senseless, he replied that it made more sense than any reckless death in Vietnam. You spoke of Burnham, who fought for Australian citizenship for himself and his Aboriginal kin, spoke of how he was led into heaven by Louis Armstrong fronting a hot Tasmanian band. He spoke of a gardener who died in his garden. His first act on getting to heaven was to pick a flower he'd never seen before, and then to say that his only regret was that everyone was not as happy as he. And then there were the famous, of course, like John Brown, with his red eyes, raging against the government, saying that the slavery legal under U.S. law was as evil as a Holocaust was permitted under German law. Adolf Hitler, saying about his crimes, "I beg your pardon," and insisting that he paid his dues to get to where he'd gotten. James Earl Ray, still fuming about how his shot had elevated his target to sainthood. And Isaac Newton, pissed as all hell at having been trumped by Einstein. Damn. That is just a sampling. And it's still a lot to chew on, but Kurt, you left one question open. Why are the famous so angry at their unfulfilled wishes when the ordinary fall into contentment upon exiting the blue tunnel? In other words, what the heck is going on? All I want is to be famous, and to strive, and to accomplish. So much so that on occasion death has seemed a cheat I'm willing to make if it'll get me there. And here you are, saying it's not worth the trouble. Seriously? Seriously? I sit for a while with that little book. Everything is beautiful. Nothing hurts. Kurt, you carved that shit in stone. There are things, I gather, that are worth casually uncovering, letting them come in their own time. Love. The joy of quiet. The scent of the grass and the rain after cutting. An arm around my neck when I need it most. A little joy in wordplay. A little satisfaction in knowing someone got what I was trying to say. Dear Kurt, you say you got off light. Light is all I get off you. And by the light of you, I see I have some work to do. Listen. One last thing. You ended some of these little stories with a ta-ta, goo-goo, gaga. Listen, I appreciate the babying, the easy farewell, the wink over the shoulder on your way to the exit. And I just want to say that when I get there, I'll take over that mower for a spell if you like. When you get off light, you ought to give a little back. Until then, though, I've got more to do here, at least for a little while. I'm just getting started. Cuckoo. I'm not even close. Gaga. So till then, Kurt, so it goes. Ta-ta, yours. yours, T.
Yeah!
Faro on electric bass.